All right, what's up, everyone? It is JR once again, and today is Friday, the 30th of September, 2016. And this is my chart review for today. First, let me start off by saying that I found today to be kind of confusing. So I didn't really do too much trading today. I just kind of watched it, and I analyzed it after the fact and tried to pick and spot out the trade. So this is going to be my analysis of it after that. I mean, I was sitting here the whole time trying to find trades, but I wasn't really finding any that I was comfortable with. So this is the analysis of the setups after the fact, and not really, you get the point. But yeah, another thing, I might go through this kind of quickly because I have some things that I need to do today, so I'm most likely just gonna kind of breeze through this and yeah, call it a day. So let's get started. I think my keyboard is dead. Yeah, that's dead. All right, enough of that. Okay, so I came in around about 9:30. We had this up channel working up. I drew my trend line off the lows. If you notice, you get a break right here and a pop up to a new high. I didn't like fading this, although we are really far away from the EMA. I didn't like fading this because you have so much buying strength working up, and even though you have a break and a new high, I guess you could draw another short-term trend line off of this, and technically you would want to wait for a reversal pattern before you just jump in and try and short something that's been all uphill all day long. So we start working back down. I drew my trend line off those the bars working lower. All right, so we get a break, and you get a first entry short, a second entry short right here. This is where the second entry short triggers, but you can't go short underneath that bar because it is incredibly bullish. I wouldn't recommend attempting to go long either because that's counter trend at this point due to the fact that we're working lower and we haven't had a break and a retest of this low. So hang tight and look for a short. When you finally do get a good signal bar that comes in, it's this bar right here, but you're too close to the lows to go short underneath that. I don't know how many ticks you are away from the low, but the low is 52.50. You would have to go short at 53. You'd have to go short 2 ticks off the low. Not a good idea. You need at least, I think, 5 or 6, because you need 5 ticks. Usually you need to trade through your order to get it. So basically you get this bar, you can't go short right there, so just wait. You pull back again, you confirm your trend line. Nice bearish bar. I liked putting a stop 1 tick beneath that bar because you tick up 1 tick outside. Oh yeah, and this was the one trade that I actually did take today. So you tick up 1 tick above this really bullish bar, and then you start working down. So just put a stop right underneath there. This bar is really bullish, so if you actually manage to trade out one side and trade out of the other side, most likely you're going to sell off, and we're still looking for a new low for this. So that closes on its low, trades down. It was a good trade, and then we flop and start working back up. All right, you get your first entry short, your second entry short right there. You can't go short right there because you've got this channel working up, and that's not a good signal bar. That's a doji. So just hang tight and wait for a better setup. You get a break of your channel right here, really small, 1-2 bars. It runs up to a new high, and then you get a nice little bearish bar. I like going short right there. I didn't actually take this, but analyzing it after the fact, that probably would have been a decent short opportunity because you've got a break of this channel, push up to a new high, all in like 1 or 2 bars, and you're looking for a new low for this one right here. Then you pull back, you bounce off this low. What I have right here, this blue 2-tier channel, is a spiking channel. I got this off the midday chart, looking at max midday chart. So you just draw your trend line off these first 2 swings. Then when it bounces right there, don't draw it off these first 2, but I mean draw it off these first 2, and then when it bounces right there, then you know that you've got something. You can slap a midline on there and it appears to be valid, and then just drag it up to the highs and see what happens. But yeah, so I think this was the last trade that I covered. Yeah, you can go short right there. Let me drink some water really quickly. All right. You can go short right there. It's right off the midline. Yeah, right off the midline. You got a break of this. Nice small little bearish bar. And yeah, that one would have worked out nicely. Then you bounce. You start working up in the opposite direction. And the next trade that I like is this long, although I don't really like this too much because this is incredibly, let me make this bigger. You guys are looking at it, probably need a magnifying glass or a microscope to see this. Oh, my mouse is dying too. I need to change these batteries. Either change the batteries or switch to wired because this is not cool. Alright. Yeah, that's much better. Now you can see everything better, hopefully. Alright, so the next trade that I saw is this long right here. And let me explain this to you. So you've got this uptrend working up. Alright. You've got your first entry short right here. Your second entry short right here. And it also combines to be a second entry long. So you've got your first entry long right here. And then your second entry long triggers right here. But this bar sets it up for it. So this trade combines to be a failed second entry short. You get your first entry short right there, second entry short right there, failed second entry short combined with the second entry long right off the EMA, and you're looking for a new high for that right there. So that seems like a decent trade after the fact. I wasn't even thinking about it because this is so sideways. Like, this is the definition of just sideways congestion stacked up. Inside bars, all that stuff that you really don't want to see when you're attempting to trade something, but it would have worked out. I'm guessing the good outweighs the bad in this scenario. The failed two attempts to go lower combined with the second entry long made it a pretty good trade. So then you work on up, you get an overshoot of our two-tiered spike and channel. So I had another channel drawn after we got this overshoot. I took it off after the fact because I went and drew this bigger one after that, but we're not going to get into all of that because I don't have too much time. So I'm just trying to go through the actual trades that would have worked according to the rules. So yeah, just go ahead and draw a short-term little trend line for this channel that you have working up. Then you get your first entry long right here, your second entry long right here. This isn't really a good signal bar. You're going sideways, and we had an overshoot of this. This is too scrunched up, and then that's too big. You have an overshoot of this, so I'd be a little bit hesitant about going long. And this isn't a good signal bar. There's your second entry, and you also got a bit of a downtrend working down. So you get your first entry short, and then this sets up to be your second entry short and a failed second entry long. So I like that short right there. And also, due to the fact that you're going sideways, so when you're going sideways, it's a trading range. When you break out of a range, usually you pull back and you have a lot of failed breakouts. So yeah, you can treat that like a failed breakout, failed second entry short combined with a second entry long, and as you can see, that turns out to be a pretty nice move. All right, you move on down. Next trade I like, and after we had an overshoot of this, I was just trying to figure out what the bigger picture is of the day, because usually there's some form of a bigger picture that you can use to trade with your shorter term trend lines to kind of give you overall clarity of what's going on for the day. So I just took a ray and I drew a trend line off this first swing right here, since this seemed to be a major turning point. Then I put it up top there in a midline through there, and I noticed that we bounced right there. So I figured, okay, this is probably the bigger picture for now at least. So after that short, we come on down. You have a short-term trend line working down, so you can't take that long, which is off of this trend line, because you want this to play out first. So then you get your first entry short right. Let me make this bigger. I keep forgetting. All right. So you get your first entry short right there. Pull back. Your second entry short right there. Not a good signal bar at all. It's tight congestion. It's coming off the trend line, and then you get this nice bullish bar, which triggers your failed second entry short. So I like going long right there, and then that one would have worked out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. That's what I saw today after the fact. I myself need to study this a bit harder because I was a bit lost during the day, and it's always good to study the days that you're lost on. It's always good to figure out what was the right thing to do on the days that you're really confused, so that way you can know the next time that you get something that's similar to it, you can be better prepared for it. So I'm going to take a couple minutes and study this again, see if there's anything that I missed, and yeah, go on with the rest of my day. So once again, this is JR, and I will see you guys next time. If my keyboard will come back to life, I can end this recording, and it'll be a good day.